The chair disappeared through a side door. Elena Reyes stood up slowly. She looked around the hall one last time. Then she turned to her team. A very small smile appeared on her lips, not angry, not sad, just real. "Well," she said in a quiet voice, "that's finished." Marcus Hale closed his screen. "No appeal?" "No need," Reyes answered. "They said what they wanted to say." The 5 humans walked out of the observer seats. Their steps made almost no sound on the smooth floor. Behind them, the aliens watched in silence. Some expected shouting. Some expected threats. Some expected tears. None of those things happened. The humans left the Grand Assembly Hall without looking back. Outside, in the wide corridor that circled the station, bright windows showed the stars. A transport tube waited. The doors opened with a soft hiss. The team stepped inside. As the tube moved toward their ship dock, Marcus spoke again. "They think we will beg to come back." Reyes looked at the stars sliding past. "They can keep thinking that." One of the younger diplomats, a woman named Lin Wei, laughed once, short and surprised. "I thought I would feel worse." "You will," Reyes said. "Later. Right now we have work." The tube stopped. The doors opened to their private dock. The ship waited there. Small, fast, painted plain gray. No flags, no big name on the side. Just the number HDC-17 and the words Courier Class in small letters. They walked up the ramp. Inside, the lights came on automatically. The pilot, a quiet man named Tariq, was already in the chair. He looked up. "Orders, Ambassador?" Reyes sat in the co-pilot seat. "Take us home. Fastest route." Tariq nodded. "Straight to Seoul?" "Straight to Seoul." The ship pulled away from the crystal station. No goodbye message. No last look. Just clean separation. Behind them, on Kalis Prime Station, the aliens returned to their normal talks. They spoke of trade deals, border lines, new mining rights, but something felt different. The air seemed heavier. A few of them kept glancing at the empty place where the human chair used to be. In the ship, Reyes opened a private channel to Earth. A face appeared on the screen. An older man with white hair and calm eyes. President Navarro. "It's done," Reyes said. Navarro nodded once. "How did they take it?" "They looked relieved, mostly." "And you?" Reyes paused. Then that same small smile came back. "I feel light," she said, "like I can finally breathe." Navarro gave a short laugh. "Good. Come home. We have plans to discuss." The screen went dark. Reyes leaned back in her seat. They looked the same as always, bright, cold, endless. But for the first time in many years, they looked like they belonged to her people again. No borders, no permission needed, no council watching every move. The ship jumped, blue light wrapped around it, space folded. In one smooth moment, Kalis Prime and the Grand Assembly Hall disappeared behind them. Humanity was going home. And when they got there, they would decide what came next. Not the Council, not the aliens, just them. The small gray courier ship slipped out of hyperspace near Sol. Earth looked the same as always, blue and white, peaceful from far away. But inside the ship, everyone felt different. The vote on Kalis Prime still hung in the air like smoke. Ambassador Elena Reyes stood on the bridge. She watched the planet grow bigger on the main screen. No one spoke for a long minute. Then she turned to the others. "Send the signal," she said. Tariq, the pilot, pressed a button. A simple message went out on every open channel humans still used in the old systems. It was short. "To all human personnel on Council worlds, stations, and outposts, recall order activated. Return to Sol system immediately. All treaty obligations end today. Safe journey home." No anger in the words. No threats. Just clear instructions. Within minutes, The message reached every corner where humans lived or worked. On the busy trade hub of Nexus Station, a human merchant named Jamal Khan read it on his wrist screen while counting credits. He stopped counting, looked at his alien customers, smiled once, then started closing his stall. Across 100 worlds, the same thing happened. On Vara Prime, a green jungle world, Dr. Sophia Chen ran a small clinic for sick children. She had worked there 12 years. When the message arrived, she gathered her team, 3 humans and 12 local nurses. She explained in a calm voice. The locals looked sad. Some cried. Sophia hugged each one. Then she started packing medicine and tools that belonged to Earth. She left most supplies behind as gifts. "Thank you for letting us help," she told the village leader. "We will remember you." The leader bowed low. "You taught us to fight sickness. We will not forget." Sophia's team loaded crates onto a waiting shuttle. No rush, no panic. They left quietly. On the cold mining moon of Tarkos 9, a group of human engineers ran big machines that dug rare metals. Their alien bosses came to the break room with worried faces. "You are leaving?" one asked. The lead engineer, a big man named Connor Riley, wiped grease from his hands. "Orders from home. We go." "But who will fix the drills? Who will keep the air clean?" Connor thought for a second. "We wrote manuals, simple ones, in your language. They are on the main terminal. Use them." The alien boss looked lost. "You could stay. We pay well." Connor smiled. "Not mean, just honest. We don't need your pay anymore. We need to go home." They shook hands. Then the humans walked to their shuttle. Behind them, the machines kept running for a while. But the rhythm felt wrong without human hands on the controls. Back on Nexus Station, the biggest market in known space, human shops closed one after another. Lights went off. Signs changed to closed permanent. Alien traders watched in confusion. One old merchant from the Zelthari people stopped a young human woman carrying boxes. "Why so fast?" he asked. "No fight? No argument?" The woman, her name was Aisha, paused. "Fight for what? A seat at a table that doesn't want us?" The Zelthari blinked his 3 eyes. "You built half this station. And we can build another," Aisha said. She smiled. "Somewhere better." She walked away. The old alien stood there a long time, staring at the empty human section. It looked strange. Too quiet. Too clean. On every world the pattern was the same. Humans did not steal. They did not break things. They settled debts. They said polite goodbyes. They left gifts, books, tools, seeds, medicine. Then they left. Council spies watched everything. They waited for tricks, hidden bombs, secret data theft, sabotage. Nothing happened. The humans behaved like perfect guests who knew the party was over. 3 days after the recall, the first big transports arrived in Earth orbit. Long lines of ships, some old freighters, some fast couriers, some colony arcs that had been waiting in deep space. They carried people home. Families, scientists, soldiers, workers, everyone. Earth Control spoke to each ship. "Welcome back. Dock at will." No cheering on the radio, just calm voices doing their jobs. On the ground, cities waited. News screens showed pictures from far away. Human flags coming down on distant stations. Human hands shaking alien hands one last time. People watched in streets, in homes, in bars. Some looked sad. Most looked thoughtful. In a small apartment in New Cairo, an old woman named Maria watched the screens with her grandson. "They are coming home," she said. The boy, 10 years old, asked, "Are we in trouble?" Maria smiled. "No, mijo. The party was over. It's time to come home. We are free." Across the planet, governments made short statements. No long speeches, no blame, just facts. The Galactic Council has chosen exclusion. Earth accepts. All relations with Council species are now private. No more official contact. Stock markets moved a little. Prices dropped, then rose again. People bought food, fuel, tools. Shops stayed open. Life went on. But something new started in the quiet moments. People talked. A mechanic in a garage said to his friend, "No more rules from aliens. We fix our own ships now." A teacher in a school told her class, "History class just got interesting. We write the next chapter ourselves." A young pilot at the spaceport looked up at the stars and whispered, "They think they locked us out. They gave us the whole sky." On the fourth day, Ambassador Reyes landed at the main port in Mexico City. She stepped out into warm air and bright sun. A small crowd waited. Not huge, not loud, just people who wanted to see her. President Navarro walked forward. He was tall, quiet, with kind eyes. He shook her hand. "You did well," he said. "It was easy," Reyes answered. "They did the hard part, making the choice for us." They walked together toward a waiting car. Reporters shouted questions. Navarro raised one hand. "No press today. Tomorrow we talk. Today we rest." Inside the car, Navarro looked at Reyes. "The Council expects us to beg soon. They think we cannot survive alone." Reyes looked out the window at the city. Tall buildings, flying cars, green parks. "They do not know us," she said. Navarro nodded. "Then let us show them." The car moved through busy streets. People waved from sidewalks. Not like heroes coming home from war, more like family coming back from a long trip. That night, across Earth, lights stayed on late. People planned. Scientists opened old files, marked Restricted Council Oversight. Shipyards hummed with fresh orders. No one cried for the lost seat on Kalis Prime. No one mourned the empty chair. Instead, they smiled. Small smiles, quiet smiles. Because the galaxy had pushed them away. And humanity had decided to walk farther than anyone thought possible. The old rules were gone. New ones would come from Earth. And they would write them themselves. The stars looked different from the edge of the Perseus arm. No council beacons blinked here. No patrol ships drifted past. Just black space and quiet. 3 weeks had passed since the last human left the old territories. The small courier ship Endeavor floated alone at the very edge of what used to be known space. Its engines were dark. Only running lights glowed soft white. On the bridge, Ambassador Elena Reyes stood with her hands behind her back. She wore the same dark blue uniform, but now the collar was open. No tie, no stiff posture. She looked relaxed, almost happy. Around her stood the small crew, 10 people total. Scientists, pilots, engineers, all volunteers, all quiet. They waited. A timer on the main screen counted down. 10 seconds. 5, 0. Reyes nodded once. Tariq opened the broadcast channel, unencrypted, wide beam. Anyone listening in the old galaxy would hear it. Every species would hear it. The red record light came on. Reyes looked straight into the camera. "Galactic Council," she began. Her voice was calm, clear, and carried a tiny edge of amusement. "This is Ambassador Elena Reyes, speaking for the people of Earth. We received your message. We understood it perfectly. Thank you for the honesty." She paused. Let the words hang. "For 40 years, we followed your laws. We asked permission before we explored. We limited our ships. We held back our ideas. We watched while you argued in circles and called it peace. We did this because we wanted to be good neighbors." A small smile touched her lips. "You decided we are not good neighbors. You decided we are too much, too fast, too strong, too different. You voted to send us away. You took our chair. You closed your door. She leaned forward just a little. So we left. The smile grew wider. Not angry, not mocking. Just real. We are not coming back to ask for forgiveness. We are not coming back to beg for a new vote. We are not coming back at all. Behind her, the big view screen changed. It showed not one ship, but many. Hundreds, then thousands. They appeared slowly at first, small dots lighting up one by one. Freighters, colony ships, mining rigs, explorers, warships that the Council had never liked because they looked too ready. All of them waited in perfect lines, engines warm, jump drives charged. Reyes kept speaking. These are our people, our families, our future. Every ship you see carries humans who chose to walk away with us. No one was forced. Everyone came because they wanted to. She spread her hands. You fear what we might become if we stay near you. That is fair. So we will not stay near you. We are leaving your maps. We are leaving your borders. We are leaving your fear. Her eyes looked bright in the bridge light. And we are grinning the whole way out. She stepped back. The camera stayed on her face for one more second. Then it switched to external view. The fleet moved. Not in a rush, not in chaos. Smooth, together, like birds that knew exactly where to go. Engines flared blue-white. Jump drives hummed. Space folded around each ship in clean flashes. One after another, they vanished. A wave of light rolled across the black. In less than 10 minutes, the entire fleet was gone. The Endeavor was the last. Reyes looked at the empty space where her people had been. Take us out, she told Tariq. The pilot smiled for the first time in days. Course? Anywhere we want, Reyes said. The ship jumped. Blue fire wrapped it. Then nothing. Back in the old galaxy, the broadcast reached Kalis Prime almost instantly. The Grand Assembly Hall was half empty. Normal business day. But when the signal came through, every screen lit up at once. Elder Vexlara watched from her high seat. Her glowing threads went dark for a moment. Then bright again. Too bright. Analysts rushed in. They played the message again and again. They are gone, one said in a small voice. Where? Another asked. No one answered. Sensor stations across the border reported the same thing. Empty. No trails, no signals, no debris, just silence. The Council called an emergency session. Species argued. Some were angry, some were afraid, some were relieved. They will come back, a Chithra diplomat said. When their food runs out, when their machines break, they need us. A Gorath rumbled low. They took everything they needed. They left nothing behind but manuals and gifts. Vexlara listened to all of it. Then she spoke. They did not fight, they did not beg, they simply left. The hall became quiet. She looked at the empty place where the steel chair used to sit. They grinned, she said softly, and they walked away. Days turned to weeks. Scouts went out to the edges. They found nothing. Hyperspace lanes that used to carry human traffic were cold. Trade hubs felt strange without human voices bargaining in every corner. On Nexus Station, the empty human sector stayed dark. Shops did not reopen. Lights did not come back on. Aliens walked past the closed doors and felt something heavy in their chests. A Zelthari trader stood in front of a shuttered human store. The sign still read, Khan Imports, best prices and 3 arms. He touched the metal door. They were always smiling, he said to no one, even when they argued, even when they lost deals, always smiling. He walked away slowly. On Earth, the mood was different. Not loud joy, not wild parties. Shipyards ran day and night. New designs appeared. Ships without Council safety limits. Engines that burned hotter. Hulls that took more punishment. People laughed more in the streets. Children asked questions about stars they had never been allowed to visit. In a quiet office in Mexico City, President Navarro watched the replay of Rhea's message for the 10th time. He turned to his advisor. "She said it perfectly." The advisor nodded. They expected anger. They got calm. Navarro looked out the window at the night sky. "They thought banishment would hurt us. They thought we would break without their rules." He smiled, small, like Rhea's. They were wrong. Far beyond the old borders, the Endeavor dropped out of jump. Ahead lay a wide stretch of stars no council map had marked. Rhea's stood on the bridge again. The crew gathered around her. "Where to first?" Tariq asked. Rhea's looked at the view screen. Endless light. Endless dark. Endless possibility. "Pick a direction," she said. "Any direction. We have time." Tariq laughed. "That's a big map now." "Yes," Reyes answered, "and it's ours." The ship turned. Engines glowed. They flew on. Behind them, the old galaxy waited for a people who would never come back. And somewhere ahead, humanity kept walking. The old galaxy felt quieter after the humans left. Trade ships moved slower on the main lanes. Markets on Nexus Station had empty spots where human stalls used to stand. The air smelled different. Less coffee, less sharp spices from Earth kitchens, less laughter in strange languages. Years passed. 5 years, then 10. The council still met in the Crystal Hall on Kalis Prime. They talked about the same things: borders, taxes, new mining rights. But the talks felt flat. No one argued with the sharp energy humans used to bring. No one challenged old ideas with new ones. Decisions came slow. Elder Vexlara still sat in her high seat. Her glowing threads were dimmer now. Age touched even the long-lived Lumari. She watched younger delegates speak and felt something heavy in her chest. One day a Chithra analyst came to her private room. He carried a thin data pad. "Trade reports," he said, "from the frontier zones." She read the numbers, then read them again. Fusion cores, prices up 60%. Adaptive hull plating, delays of 2 years. Emergency medical kits, short supply on 12 worlds. She looked up. "Replacements?" The analyst shook his head. "Our factories make them slower. They break faster. Humans had better designs, simpler, cheaper." Vexlara set the pad down. "And the frontier?" Pirates returned to the old lanes. Rogue AIs woke in abandoned stations. 3 colonies asked for help last month. We sent ships. 2 came back damaged. 1 did not come back. She closed her eyes for a moment. "They used to handle those problems in days." The analyst nodded. "They did." He left. Vexlara stayed alone. She looked at the small model of the old steel chair on her desk. A reminder. She had voted red that day. Most had. Across the galaxy, the pattern repeated. On Vara Prime, the jungle clinic Sophia Chen once ran, now used old machines. The local doctors tried hard. But children still got sick in ways the new medicine could not fix fast. Parents remembered the human doctor who smiled and worked through nights. They missed her. On Tarkos 9, the mines ran half speed. The big drills jammed more. Workers died in small accidents that never happened when humans watched the gauges. The alien bosses kept the old manuals open on screens. They read them again and again. The words were clear. The hands that once followed them were gone. Nexus Station changed most. The human sector stayed dark for years. Then new traders moved in. Slow ones, careful ones. They sold safe things, boring things. No one haggled loud. No one laughed at bad deals. The station felt smaller. Some aliens tried to copy human ways. A few young ones grew beards like Connor Riley. They practiced English phrases. They tried to grin wide when they bargained. It looked strange on their faces. Sales dropped. The council held special meetings about the human question. Delegates spoke in careful voices. "We should send a ship," one said. "Ask them to return. Offer better terms." Another shook his head. "They left without a fight. They will not come back for words." A third voice, older, from the Gorath, rumbled low. "We could force them." Silence fell. No one liked that idea. Humans had never started wars with the council, but everyone remembered their warships, the ones that looked too ready, the ones that vanished with the fleet. The idea died in the room. Scouts went out anyway. Small, fast ships with good sensors. They flew to the last known jump points. They found cold trails, faint echoes of engines that faded fast. Probes sent deeper came back empty or did not come back. Rumors grew in quiet bars and dark ship holds. They found a new arm of stars, full of death worlds, places we cannot live. Places they love. They built a wall of ships. Nothing gets in or out. They went beyond the rim, into the true dark, where galaxies end. No one knew the truth. That made it worse. On Earth, or what used to be called the Sol system, life moved forward. New colonies opened on worlds the Council once marked red. Red for danger. Red for no one can live there. Humans landed anyway. They built domes. They planted seeds. They laughed when storms came. They fixed what broke and kept going. Children born after the banishment never saw the Crystal Hall. They learned history from teachers who smiled when they spoke of the vote. "Your grandparents walked away," the teachers said, "and they took the future with them." The children nodded. They looked at the stars and felt no fear. Shipyards grew bigger. New ships launched every month. Some carried families, some carried machines, some carried weapons, but mostly they carried hope. In a quiet room under a mountain on Earth, President Navarro, now old, hair white, sat with Elena Reyes. She looked almost the same. Time touched her lightly. "They still talk about us," Navarro said. Reyes nodded. "They always will." "Do you regret it?" She thought for a moment. "No. We gave them 40 years. We followed their rules. They chose fear. We chose freedom." Navarro looked at a screen that showed deep space scans. Empty. Clean. "They think we are lost," he said. Reyes smiled. "Let them think that." She stood. "I have a ship waiting. New route. Uncharted stars." Navarro raised an eyebrow. "Still walking?" "Always," she answered. She left the room. Navarro stayed. He looked at the stars on the screen. Somewhere out there, his people kept moving. Back in the old galaxy, the steel chair sat in storage, covered in soft dust. No one moved it. No one sat in it. It waited. 20 years after the departure, a single Lumari science ship pushed far beyond safe borders. The crew was small, young, curious. They had grown up hearing stories. They wanted to see for themselves. They flew for months, past dead systems, past cold nebulae. Then sensors pinged. An anomaly. A perfect sphere of bent space. 30 light-years wide. Energy readings impossible. The captain, a young female named Liraveth, stared at the data. "Take us closer," she said. They approached slow, careful. At the center of the sphere, a blue-green world turned. Around it orbited thousands of stations, habitats, shipyards, fleets, human designs, human lights, human signals on open channels, music, voices, children laughing. Liraveth felt her threads glow bright with shock. A sleek frigate moved out to meet them. No weapons hot, no demands. The screen lit up. A human face appeared. Older now, lines around the eyes. But the same calm smile. "Welcome," Elena Reyes said, "to New Terra Sector." Liraveth could not speak for a moment. Reyes waited, patient. How? Liraveth finally asked. We built it, Reyes answered. No votes, no permissions, just work and time. The young Lumari looked past her at the thriving world. Cities on hard stone, green fields under strange suns, ships that looked alive. Why did you not fight us? Liraveth asked. Reyes laughed, soft, warm. Fighting would have kept us close to you. We wanted more, so we took more. She leaned forward. The door is open. Observe, learn, join if you want. But understand, we do not kneel anymore. Not to councils, not to fear, not to anyone. The channel closed. The frigate turned, vanished into the shimmering boundary. Her crew stared at the sphere. The old galaxy waited for their report. When it came, the council hall went silent. The exile had not broken humanity. It had set them free. And somewhere beyond the maps, they were still walking, still building. The young Lumari science ship slipped back through the shimmering boundary of the new Terra sector. Its engines hummed low as it turned toward the old galaxy. Inside, the crew sat in silence. No one spoke for hours. Liraveth, the captain, kept her glowing threads dim. She stared at the datapad in her hands. The numbers and images stayed the same, no matter how many times she looked. They reached Kalis Prime after many weeks. The crystal hall waited as always, but the air felt thick when they docked. Guards met them at the ramp, silent, watchful. No welcome words, just a quick walk to the main chamber. The council was already gathered, every seat filled. Elder Vexlara sat highest. Her threads flickered weak blue. Age had taken more color from her. Younger delegates watched the Lumari crew enter, eyes wide, mouths closed tight. Liraveth stepped to the center platform. She placed the datapad on the small stand. A holoscreen rose. It showed the sphere. The blue-green world, the thousands of stations, the fleets, the laughter on open channels. She spoke in a clear, quiet voice. This is what we found. The images played. Ships moved in perfect lines. Cities rose on worlds marked deadly on old maps. Children ran under two suns. Markets sold food no one in the council had tasted. Music drifted through space. Human songs, old and new. No one interrupted. When the last image faded, silence held the hall. Vexlara leaned forward slowly. How many? She asked. Liraveth met her eyes. We could not count them all. Billions live there now. More ships arrive every day. They come from Earth, from hidden colonies, from places we never knew. A Chithra delegate raised a claw. Did they threaten you? Liraveth shook her head. No. They greeted us, offered water, offered food, told us we could stay and watch, or leave, or join. Another voice asked, Join? Yes, Liraveth said. They said the door stays open, for anyone tired of small rules, for anyone ready to walk farther. Murmurs moved through the rows. Some faces looked angry, some looked afraid, some looked hungry. Vexlara raised one thin hand. The hall went quiet again. And Elena Reyes? She asked. She spoke to us herself, older now, but the same smile, the same calm voice. She said they built it all without us, without votes, without fear. Vexlara closed her eyes for a long moment. Then she opened them. What did you feel when you saw it? Liraveth thought. Her threads glowed a little brighter. I felt small, she said, and I felt alive, like I had never really looked at the stars before. The words hung in the air. No one spoke after that. The session ended. Delegates left in small groups. Whispers followed them down the corridors. Some went to their embassies. Some went to quiet bars. Some went home and stared at the ceiling all night. Days later, Reports spread through the old worlds. Traders carried the images on data chips. Pilots told stories in ship holds. Children asked parents why the humans left and came back stronger. On Vara Prime, the old clinic added a new wall. Someone painted a small blue planet on it. Underneath they wrote one word: thanks. On Tarkos 9, miners printed new signs. Human design still works best. They kept the old manuals in frames now, like art. On Nexus Station, a few brave shop owners reopened old human stalls. They sold copies of Earth food. Bad copies. But people bought them anyway. They wanted to taste what the humans remembered. The council tried to return to normal. Meetings continued. Laws passed. But the empty chair in storage became famous. People walked past the door just to look at it.